Hi there, just before we start the video, I'd just like to remind you that I have an email subscription list. You can find the URL for the list in the description for this video, or you can find it on my websites, russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com, or onlydeathcansavus.com. That's the name of the book, Only Death Can Save Us. I won't be filling your inbox up. It'll just be short bits of information about the book or things that are going on the channel. The book is a cosmic Bronze Age inspired journey. That's art and story. So if you like the way comics used to be, hopefully you'll really like this book. So that's it for now. Let's get on with the video. Hi there, welcome back to the dojo. I'm Russ Leach, showing the comic book black belt. And this is a video where it's a bit of a stream of thought, really. The title will probably say a lot. As far as a description of where I want to go with it. Professionalism. You've got to stay professional. Over the last few weeks, I'm talking now, if anybody's watching this at a later date, I'm talking now in late December, mid-December of 2019. And I have seen over the last 2 or 3 years, with comicsgate and the industry upheaval, people just being hideous to each other. There's been a lot of I've seen a lot of people change their personas, as in the mask has slipped and you can see what these people are really up to. I don't think anybody is truly evil or bad. I just think they're making some terrible personal errors. But that's for them to do. There's, like I say, the last couple of months has kind of been very heated, where we've seen the world-class bull shitters, I suppose I'll have to say their full name, comic really be taken through a hedge backwards. From what I can tell, the comics is bloody awful. And this does kind of show that, or open up the whole problem of professionalism. Are you ready to get out there and produce a book? And these sort of, if I'm being uncharitable, cults, and if I'm being polite, creators with fans, where there's a sort of a build-up of almost like a crowd mentality, and then something gets funded, and it's then seen to not be very good. I mean, in this particular case, it was, from what I can see, was a genuine error on their cases. I think his name's Jeff. I don't follow these things particularly well, but I sort of see them all bubbling around in the background, and it seems to me he made a bit of an error. And again, was that down to professionalism? Like these books were delivered badly. I don't think that's his fault specifically. And all the people that are then calling him out and saying it's his fault, it's so bad, you don't know the details fully. So stop casting aspersions over things you don't know anything about. That in itself is unprofessional. His book, from what I've seen, just looking around the internet, doesn't look particularly professional. And it's this approach to the way that you put yourself over, this approach to the way you manage yourself, even if you're not doing it professionally, if you're just if you're an artist that's doing it for yourself, you still have a persona to show other people. You're giving a part of yourself in that art. And then if you're doing things professionally, if you're doing things to get paid to be in an artistic or creative professional role, you have to deliver your persona to the world, as it were. And these things can come back to bite you on the backside if you're not careful. So I'm a big believer in professionalism. I'm not particularly impressed by, and I'll probably upset a few people on this, I'm not particularly impressed by Indiegogo and Kickstarter campaigns that are late. I've never been late for a job in my life. And I would never put up a date where I'd be late. Obviously, things happen, and I understand. But it does seem to be a running theme in crowd-funded books that they come back late, and I'm just not very impressed by that. My own book, when I do it, as long as I stop getting work from other people, which is always very difficult, you can't turn it away. As a professional, it's difficult to turn work away because you have that work ethic of getting things done, and also you have to make money. You got to eat. Christmas is coming up, you know. When I do my book, the idea is that I have all the artwork done by the time I go to the crowdfunding, so that people don't see any risk. And then I can say, okay, look, it's all done. I've got 2 months, say, to get it printed and get it out to you. And then hopefully I would be within that time and I'd bring it in early. Now, obviously, as I understand, life gets in the way, circumstances happen. But I couldn't promise stuff to people that I didn't think I was going to get done exactly on that time, or at least close to. So I think there's a problem with professionalism per se in the comic book industry, and it runs from top to bottom, because you even get stuff being late from the big publishers, and sometimes that's because they have burnout with artists and writers. Sometimes it's because they've just cocked up, and it's just, you know, I wasn't for the longest part of my career, I was involved in retail design and point of sale production, in publishing brochures and magazines, and finally in travel and leisure, where I produced websites and online systems. And if we were ever as late as some of these crowdfunded books were, or as some of the mainstream comic books are, we would never have got a second contract. I would never have been able to afford a mortgage, because I would never have been paid, because I would have been fired. And that, you know, I might sound like a bit of a stick in the mud here, sorry, but that's important to me. I think you can't overpromise and underdeliver. And to me, I see myself as starting, when I do produce my own book, I see myself as probably starting very small and only being, you know, hopefully, touch wood, a few $1,000s or pounds or whatever to get the first book going, and sort of get people interested in my work and interested in the characters, but also deliver on the promise that I've made, and so create an environment where you get a second chance at the same customers, so that by having a second chance at the same customers, by delivering on time, by delivering a quality product, you grow your audience and you grow your customer base. If you don't deliver on time, or a bad product, or both, then you shrink the original customer base you've got first time, because a lot of them won't give you a second chance, quite rightly. So it seems to me professionalism is under attack, and we all need to, you know, step up and make sure that we're as professional as possible, so that indie comics are taken seriously, not just taken as a nearly ran, or an also ran, compared to mainstream comics, especially now when, in my personal view, mainstream comics seem to be losing their way. Like I say, there's still great quality out there. There's some books that I buy, but it's just not the same anymore. And I think we're moving into an environment where new ideas will rise from the old order of comic book publishing. I'm involved in some projects that I think might actually be part of that. But either way, I think things are changing, and I think professionalism, delivering quality product on time, having great interaction with your customers is super important. I did a couple of reviews recently. I don't know whether they're coming out before or after this video. So, for instance, people like Doug Tenaple, who I would imagine I disagree with on many levels, personally and professionally. But he is exceptionally polite to the people that talk to him, at least as long as they're polite. He's been polite to me, and I think the quality of his product has been outstanding. So I will buy more product from him. I don't need to have a personal conversation with him or drink a beer with him. All I need to know is that he's going to be, polite to me. He's going to be respectful and pleased that I am a customer and give me quality product. The minute that stops, my patronage stops. And that's the way it works. That's the way business works. It doesn't matter whether this horrible word comicsgate. It doesn't matter whether you're in it or out of it, whether you're mainstream, whether you're, whatever kind of creator you are, whether you're trying to do it for a business or whether it's something that you would just love to do. And if you crowdfund it, for instance, it's just enough to mean that you can produce that book and have it out in other people's hands and tell them your story. Doesn't matter. Professionalism counts every time. And professionalism encompasses not just the delivery and quality of a product, but how you conduct yourself and how you interact with a consumer base. One of the other books that I bought was from Jeff Lafferty, and he has a channel as well. And that man is, I think, is a personification of professionalism. Now, I know he has a day job. I think he paints houses and stuff like that. And he produces some fantastic artwork. I love the fact that he has his own style as well as a traditional style, and he really is a great artist, someone to look up to. Go check his channel out. I think I saw a video of his recently as well, and he was talking about professionalism, and you can go out and find some of these artists, and you don't have to agree with them personally, just be impressed by the way that they display their abilities and their professionalism to the audience around them. That's just like uber important. If you've been watching the channel recently, I've had a chest infection where I was off, so I wasn't able to put up as many videos. But it was the videos that suffered. I was still, as a freelancer, if I don't work, I don't get paid. So I still worked my way through the day, coughing and snotting, so that I could get work done because, I need money to live. And that's all part of that whole ethos of working and knowing that if you work, you will receive. If you provide a crappy product, or if you provide a crappy service, or if you are crappy to your consumers, they're not going to like it. They're going to walk in the opposite direction. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it as a job or whether you're doing it as a hobby or a vocation. You have to be that person to your consumers, to your fans, whatever you want to call them, to your subscribers, your consumers, the people that buy your product, that consume your content or your imagination or whatever your output is. They want to see it, they appreciate it, and in some way they pay for it, whether they pay for that in money or whether they pay for that in time. For instance, on YouTube, people will watch your channel and they're giving their time to watch your content, and if you're an arsehole, they're not going to come back. I mean, maybe that's your shtick. Maybe being an arsehole is what you do. But if you're consistently rude or horrible to people, eventually they'll just turn around and walk away. So, professionalism is so important, but particularly when you're freelancing, when you're out on your own, you have your own business, when you are your own studio, and when you're publishing books, or if you're producing content for other studios, professionalism is super, super important. So that was just my stream of consciousness, really. It was something I felt I had to get off my chest. Hopefully it's not so much advice to people out there, but if you're listening to this, it's just that underpinning of maybe the way you feel, underpinning of your thought process, underpinning of that view that it's just so important to get things on time, get them right, and deliver on promises made. Very, very important. I think that's probably a good thing for life, let alone for your professional career or for something that you're passionate about. Just in general, I think it's a good rule to live by. So with that said, I'm going to finish my rant, and I think I'll put this down as a vlog. There you go. So it will be in that category of videos, even though I've got some artwork going off in the background. So thanks very much for listening to my inane banter, and I will be back with another video again soon. Check me out at russleach.com, at comicbookblackbelt.com, my book onlydeathcansavus.com. You can pick up all my links to Twitter and Instagram, what have you, and they'll be in the description as well. And obviously my email subscription list, which is super important. Please do sign up to that, and also subscribe if you can. Thank you very much to all those people that are subscribing on BitChute as well, and I'll be back in the dojo again with another video real soon. Bye bye. Thanks for watching Comic Book Black Belt. If you've enjoyed the content from this video, please like, share or subscribe, and come over and follow me on Twitter. It's been great having you in the dojo. See you again soon.